Hello students, welcome to the class. Let's start the third lesson, part 1, which is soil. In today's class, we'll be learning about the importance of soil for life on earth, then the formation and the composition of soil, and also types of soil and soil profile. Let's begin. Look at this. This is our earth. Nearly 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water and 1/4 is land. And more than half of this land is covered with snow or rocky. So plants cannot grow here. Only the remaining part, here also you can see, when the season changes, the snow melt into water. So here you can see this is fully covered with sand, which is called desert. Here also plant will not grow. So the remaining part, only the remaining part which has got a thin covering called soil. This is the layer on which plants grow. So you can see on the screen, this is called soil. This is a layer where plant grows. So the soil cover on the earth is very thin. Its depth varies from a few feet to a few inches at different places. Soil is formed very slowly, and it takes millions of years for the thin layer of soil on the earth to form. So soil is very, very precious. It's a wonderful, precious resource. So let's see the importance of soil. Now see here, soil provides a medium in which a plant can grow. It holds their root and gives them water and minerals. Humans and animals depend on plants for food and oxygen. So life on the earth would not be possible without soil. So not only for humans and animals, soil also provides shelter to many tiny living things such as bacteria, fungi, worms and insects. Here on the screen you can see earthworm which lives on the soil. Let me show you bacteria, fungi. See, this is bacteria and virus and other fungi. All these lives in the soil. If you take a spoonful of soil, it is said it has more living things than all the people on the earth. So that is why soil is often called the living soil. Now, from this bacteria and fungi and virus, we make a medicine called penicillin. Look at this. This is also penicillin tablet, which is used for sickness like sore throat and pneumonia. Now, it's our duty not to pollute the soil by throwing the garbage and harmful substance and spoil the soil, which is a wonderful resource we have. Now, soil also acts as a water filter. When rainwater passes through different layers of soil, it gets purified and is stored as groundwater. Now look at this here in the second picture, you can see where rainwater falls on the ground, how it passes through all these different layers. Look at this, we can also make a water purifier like this. You have to take a bottle, cut the bottom portion, and first you tie the mouth part of the bottle with the cloth, then you take fine sand, the next is a charcoal, the next you have to put coarse sand on the top, rock. Now you pour the dirty water on the top. As the dirty water passes through these layers, what happens? Finally we get a pure water which is collected in the bottle. So this is how dirt water is purified. So soil acts as a water filter. Now let's move on to the next section, that is how soil is formed. Now look here, long ago there was no soil on the earth. There were only big rocks. Look at this big rock. These big rocks broke into fine particles by the continuous action of the sun, wind, and water. So the process by which the rocks are broken into smaller particles is called weathering. Look at this word weathering. The weathering is nothing but the process by which rocks are broken into smaller particles. Here you see actually this portion was you can see my cursor, this portion was joined with this main part, but then due to the heat of the sun, then rain and air, it slowly get break and it started changing into small particle, but the process is called weathering. Okay, let's move on. Now this is also how soil breaks and change into a small particle, which we call weathering. Now look at this. Let's learn about the formation of soil. Now see the first one you can see, um, which is parent rock, and the next one is rock. First it is a big rock. As I showed earlier, there were only big rocks. Now slowly the rock gets break down. It starts to break down. Look at this. This is sun. Due to the heat of the sun and rain water and the air breeze, due to these three they change, they break into small pieces, and a tiny layer of soil is formed where plants started to grow. So this plant also will die and rot and get mixed with the soil. So what happened, it become a good nutrient for the soil. Again, more and more plants started to grow on the land. This helped animals to grow on the land. So as time passed, what happened? More and more remains of dead plants and animals mixed with the weathered rock to form a layer of soil on the earth. So finally, we get a very good layer of soil on the earth. Now we are going to learn about the composition of soil. So there are different composition. You have nearly 7 composition. Let's learn one by one. The first one is the gravel. Look at the slide. You can see gravel. This is a soil which may contain very small stones. These stones are called gravel. Look at this. This is called silt. Silt particles are smaller than sand particles. Keep in the mind, they may ask this for objective type question. Silt particles are smaller than small sand particle. Silt hold water and some nutrient for plant. Okay, next. This is called humus. Humus is made up of the rotting remains of plants and animals. It makes the soil rich with nutrients. Plants use these nutrients to grow. The next one is the sand. Sand particles are the largest soil particle. Again, keep this point in mind. They are the largest soil particle. Okay. Sand is an important part of the soil. The largest space between the sand particles allow water to drain away easily. Next, we learn about clay. Clay particles are the smallest soil particle. Again, this is a point which they ask for the objective type question. Clay particles are the smallest soil particle. Clay holds water for a long time. It can even hold a very small amount of nutrient. So the next composition of the soil is air. The space between the soil particles are filled with air. You can see these bubbles, which is nothing but air. Roots of plant and other living things in the soil use this air to breathe. So next, let's move on. The last composition of the soil is water. Soil also contains water that is used by plants. Okay, now we are going to see the types of soil. There are 3 basic kind of soil called sandy, clayey, and loam. You can see on the screen, sandy, clay, and loam. They are the 3 basic kind of soil. Most soils are made up of sand, silt, and clay. The color and the quality of the soil depends on how much silt, sand, and clay are mixed in that. The best soil that is used for the growth of the plant is one which has all the three type of particles in the right mixture. Okay, let's learn one by one all the three types. First one is sandy soil. Sandy soil has a lot of sand and very little silt and clay. Sand particles have large spaces and between them. Sand particles have large spaces between them. They can hold a lot of air but cannot hold water or nutrient for long. So that is why sand soil is not very good for growing crops. Next, see the next one, which is called clay soil. Clay soil mainly contains clay. Clay particles are the smallest and have very little space between them, so they cannot hold much air. Clay can hold a lot of water, but the water drains very slowly. So clay soil is also not very good for growing crops. Okay, look at this. Loam is the best soil for growing plants. Again, let me say loam is the best soil for growing plants. It has the right mixture of sand, clay, and silt. It can hold air and water well, but it also allows water to flow easily. It also contains humus. That is why farmers and gardeners choose loam to grow crops and other plants. Now, let's learn about soil profile. Look at this. You can see a plant which is grown, and look at the root of the plant which has come to the second, third level. Down you can see big stones. So let's learn about the soil profile. The soil profile shows a different layer of soil. The topmost layer of the soil is called topsoil. Look at this. First you have a little bit of humus, then you have topsoil. It contains sand, clay, and humus, water, and air. It gives nutrient to plant. Roots of most plants grows in the topsoil. See here you can see roots growing in the topsoil. It's still the roots, they come down in search of water. The middle layer of the soil is called subsoil. Look at this picture, you can see subsoil. This portion is called subsoil. It is not rich in humus. See top you can see humus, the brown color sand, but here you cannot see much humus, but it contains lot of water. Here you have water. That is why the roots are coming down in search of water. The bottom layer is called the parent rock. It contains small pieces of rock. See here you can see here and there small pieces of rock. Now below the parent rock is the bedrock. This is called bedrock. It is made up of large rock. The bedrocks lie very deep inside the earth. Okay, so with this, we come to the end of first part. Thanks for watching. God bless you all.